Keep clear of Sarah's wedding. You're a disgrace, my mother hissed, after siphoning $38,700 from my account. Then witness it fall apart without my funds, I retorted, while scrapping the venue, flights, and every expense connected to it. It was a Tuesday when the message landed. Just 3 stark words. We've all agreed. At first I couldn't comprehend it, but a heavy dread settled in my stomach. A minute later, another note from Mom appeared, this one a complete sentence. We've all agreed you're not welcome at the wedding. No punctuation, just her usual tiny dash, as if she was aiming to appear sophisticated. It always came across like a conceited poke in message form. I gazed at those phrases, scanning them again, wishing they'd morph into something different. They didn't. My sister Sarah's wedding, the one I'd financed, organized, and assembled, handling every emergency, calming emotional outbursts, and reserving every supplier because Sarah insisted she was swamped, was now forbidden to me. Just 2 weeks before, Sarah had labeled me her rock, right after I wired her $2,000 for flower displays that resembled an online obsession. My name's Ethan, I'm 33. Until that message, I truly believed I was assisting, keeping intact a family that always appeared one misstep from falling apart without me. I'm not wealthy, but I've been in tech for years, setting aside what I could. I live simply, remain unattached, and save money while others blew what they lacked. I used to consider myself lucky that they were merely facing hardships. Now I realize being the dependable one simply turns you into the family's endless purse. No inquiries permitted. The event was scheduled for Saturday, an extravagant seaside spot adorned in ivory and gold accents. Sarah dubbed it refined. I figured it resembled a royal baptism. I'd handled half the location cost, arranged flights, and even secured the honeymoon suite in Cancun under my name because Mom's credit was too unstable to lock it in. And now, I was instructed to steer clear. I didn't respond. There was no point. Instead, I flipped open my laptop and signed into the travel platform where I'd reserved the honeymoon trips. 2 premium round-trip tickets linked to my email. I selected cancel, paused briefly, and viewed refund confirmed. $5,000. Then I entered my bank portal and undid a $21,500 wire I dispatched to Mom last month for what she termed wedding add-ons. I didn't phone or message anyone. I simply observed the figures adjust on the display. I wasn't furious or even upset, just serene, as if I'd been suppressing air for years and at last released it. At 8:17 p.m., the initial call arrived. Sarah. I disregarded it. Then my cousin, my uncle, then Mom. I muted all alerts and proceeded with my evening. I warmed up leftovers and started a documentary, hardly absorbing it. By Wednesday morning, I had 23 unanswered calls, 4 voice messages, and 1 text that halted me in my tracks. Please ring. It's Dad. That one struck uniquely. Dad doesn't typically intervene. He's quiet, the type who'd prefer fiddling with a faulty light than diving into family conflicts. As a child, I viewed him as aloof. Later, I understood he merely evaded disputes unless they were vital. If he was contacting me, something was amiss. Even before listening to his voice message, I could predict its content. Sarah's breakdowns, Mom's performances, perhaps a manipulation from an aunt I hadn't contacted in ages. I wanted to erase everything, but Dad's text persisted. This hadn't emerged suddenly. It had been accumulating, minor criticisms, gradually. Last holiday season, Mom remarked, well, at least Sarah will provide us grandchildren. Not everyone can. I brushed it off then. I've never desired children, and I'm content with that. But it pained me in a way I didn't admit. At Sarah's engagement gathering, I wasn't placed at the main table. Mom claimed it was to even things out. But Sarah's cousin's recent boyfriend, a man she'd known for 3 months, sat right beside the groom. I accepted that too, as usual. Each slight was minor, never sufficient to ignite a battle until abruptly it was. After Sarah became engaged, everything was an emergency. Mom would ring, panicked about suite selections. Sarah had fits over attendant gowns. I was anticipated to handle whatever the groom's family didn't, and I did, believing it secured my role. I thought funding was how I demonstrated my value, but it merely positioned me as their unpaid planner, and now they didn't even desire my presence. That morning I perched on my bed, laptop still active. The flight termination email shone like a subtle uprising. I browsed the unanswered calls, each contact more insistent than the previous. Then Dad's text. You must view this immediately. My gut dropped. I fixated on those 6 words, my finger lingering over the screen. Dad doesn't overstate, but when he communicates, it resonates. He's not like Mom's theatrics or Sarah's scheming. If he claimed I needed to view something, it wasn't merely another appeal. I dialed him. He answered before the second tone. Ethan, he said quietly. Got a moment. Yeah, I answered, my throat parched. What's occurring? I caught a TV in the distance, then quiet as he silenced it. I was unaware they were planning this, he said. Your mom and Sarah. I only learned this morning after they settled the seating and shared in the family group. I'm not in that group, I grumbled. I know, he said kindly. That's part of the issue. He halted, then said, Ethan, they're informing everyone you opted not to attend. That struck deeper than I anticipated. I blinked, attempting to absorb. What did they claim? They said you're withdrawing again, that you grew upset over something minor and chose to miss it. Sarah told everyone you're theatrical, that you didn't wish to be present. I released a sharp laugh, so they excluded me, then faulted me for it. Worse, Dad said, your mom informed them you vowed to ruin the wedding if you appeared. I stiffened. She said what? Dad exhaled, deep and weary. She told Sarah's future in-laws you're erratic, resentful about being alone, envious of your sister's joy, said you're centering it on yourself like usual. Like usual, I repeated, my voice cracking. I rose, sensing my apartment barriers tightening. So this entire matter, barring me, was orchestrated to cast me as the antagonist? Dad wavered. It's worse. They're claiming you declined to fund the honeymoon out of malice. That triggered something in me. Not rage, not sorrow, but a chilled, empty lucidity. I wasn't merely their excuse. I was their adversary. They accepted the money, Dad, I said, my voice firm. $8,200. I dispatched it for the honeymoon. I terminated the flights last night. Refunds already processed. He was silent for a second, then said, good. It was the first occasion in years Dad had supported me so outright. He wasn't one for grand actions, but that lone word felt monumental. Then he added, there's more. I wasn't planning to share, but you must view it. I heard him shift, then a tone as he forwarded a message. I checked my phone, a capture from a group conversation. Mom, Sarah, and several aunts. My name appeared throughout. Mom wrote, don't worry about Ethan. He's just touchy because no one's ever cared for him enough to commit. I'll handle him after the wedding once he quits behaving like a child. Sarah responded, he's a ghost. Let him vanish. Just ensure he doesn't create a disturbance. Aunt Linda added, so we're prepared. No companion for him even if he begs. Mom again, precisely. No spot, no speech, no trouble. He'll recover. He always does. I scanned it once, twice, 3 times, then removed it, not to erase, but because I didn't require repeated views to recognize the reality. I'd never really belonged in this family. I was the mender, the one who sustained unity. But adhesive doesn't earn a place at the gathering. It merely prevents shattering until it fractures. They were correct about one aspect. I wasn't going to plead. That night I began a roster, not of individuals to challenge, but of elements to reverse. They desired me absent, but they overlooked I controlled the threads. The joint bulk store membership with Mom terminated. The video platforms, Netflix, Hulu, Disney+, their accounts were erased. The automatic transfers for Sarah's education debts, which I'd managed since her university shortfall, halted. And the highlight, the location down payment was still under my name. They'd never reimbursed me for the check I issued to hold it. I'd intended to address it eventually, but now it was top priority. Pausing over the cancel booking option on the site's page, I smirked for the first time that day. If they believed I'd been overly emotional before, they were due for a revelation. By Thursday morning, my quiet had them unraveling. Voice messages evolved from pretended worry to frantic appeals. Sarah's demeanor altered with each recording, first annoyed, then artificially kind. Ethan, can we discuss? This is a huge mix-up. Mom didn't intend it that way. I didn't answer. I leaned back, arms crossed, hearing their anxiety. Every message validated what I already understood. They were rushing to repair something irreparable. But this wasn't malice. It wasn't retribution. It was liberation, forcing them to bear the burden of their decisions. That afternoon, I retrieved a notepad and cataloged every profile, transfer, and charge linked to my name. I wasn't being spiteful. I was being meticulous. Mom's mobile plan, which I'd covered since her 2019 job loss, paused. She detected when attempting calls during her hair session on Friday. Sarah's payment service, still connected to my card from her school years, severed. I even marked a few strange transactions on my statement for amusement. Fraud notifications are a wonderful tool. By Friday morning, I received a note from the location. Your termination request has been accepted. Per the agreement, your down payment is non-returnable unless a substitute is found. I grinned. Let them justify that to the 118 attendees traveling for an event with no site. Around midday, my cousin Mark phoned. He's the only one who's ever regarded me as an individual, not a tool. His voice was exhausted. Ethan, what's unfolding? I didn't restrain. I'm finished funding a family that views me as a mobile bank. He exhaled. They're falling apart. Sarah's distraught, claiming you're ruining her union. I offered a hollow chuckle. If scrapped trips and a blocked honeymoon fund can destroy her union, it wasn't stable to start. He didn't debate, just said, I wish you'd informed me earlier. I always recognized they relied on you excessively. That night, I accessed Dad's ancient online storage where we'd saved family papers years back. A wealth of proofs, invoices, messages, even the tab from the engagement celebration I'd covered, though Mom conveniently omitted mentioning it. I made a fresh online directory titled Ethan's Inputs and uploaded it all. Then I forwarded the link to the family group. No note, no clarification. I didn't require one. 5 minutes later, they ejected me from the group. Ideal. The true change arrived Friday morning, the day prior to the event. Enjoying coffee, I got a message from the groom's mother, Elena. I'd encountered her once, elegant, collected, the sort of lady who maintains her serviette creased and addresses folks dear. Her message was short but unsettled me more than any recording. Subject, event issues. Hi Ethan, I'm contacting you straight. I've caught bits of what's transpiring and I'm troubled. Can we speak? I sense I'm overlooking something essential. Best, Elena, this wasn't merely household rumors anymore. It was extending to the groom's side. I rang her. She picked up right away. Thank you for ringing, she said, proper but anxious. My son just noted the site might be scrapped. It is, I stated clearly. I covered the down payment. It's under my name. Quiet, that's not what we heard, naturally not. She composed herself. Ethan, I was informed you withdrew, that you were bitter and didn't wish to participate. I allowed the quiet to extend, then said, do bitter folks cover the blooms, dessert, music, and half the site? She inhaled sharply. I wasn't informed of that. Naturally not, I said. They required an excuse. The instant I ceased funding, they directed it at me. Her manner eased. I understand why you've withdrawn, but there's another matter. Sarah and your mom initiated a shared credit line last week using your identity. I stilled. What? They claimed you co-approved, she went on. My spouse spotted your name on the forms when checking event expenses. That was the limit. I wasn't simply their source anymore. I was their target. I remained there, coffee growing cold in my grip, as Elena's statements registered. They claimed you co-approved. I hadn't. I've protected my credit rigorously since mom damaged it years ago on a vehicle loan I naively co-signed. I've never approved anything since without direct payment. Do you possess the form? I questioned, my voice edged. Yes, she said. Shall I forward it? Immediately, moments later it came. A substantial limit event credit form with my name, location, social number, and a falsified electronic mark. They'd probably extracted it from prior tax documents or banking files. I didn't experience fury or mourning, just a sharp lucidity. For years, I'd been their buffer, resolving their chaos. But falsifying my mark, that wasn't need. That was larceny cloaked in boldness. I submitted a deception claim with the card issuer, preserved every display, and filed a police notification with the counterfeit form, a certified statement rejecting approval and all associated papers. Then I phoned Mom. She picked up on the second tone, voice oozing false warmth. Ethan, I was just about to ring. I interrupted. Did you falsify my name on a credit line? Quiet. Ethan, don't be ridiculous, she faltered. It was merely a reserve for honeymoon extras. You know how these go. Did you falsify my name? I reiterated. Sarah interjected. You'd have approved it if you realized its importance. I allowed that to suspend. That's not a response, I said icily, but it's okay. You can clarify it to the examiner. That broke her pretense. What? Ethan, you're earnest? We're kin. You're inflating this over a mix-up. Mom, I said, severing her. You prohibited me from an event I financed, deceived about it, and executed identity larceny. I didn't create this chaos. You did. I'm merely revealing it. Ethan, dear, we can resolve this, please. I disconnected. That night, I motored to Dad's. He was on the deck, clutching 2 cups of tea, displaying that serene expression he adopts when matters are grave. You all right? He inquired as I settled. I nodded, improving. We didn't converse much. We didn't have to. He passed me a cup and we observed the sun descend. Finally, he said, you handled it correctly. That signified more than any regret could. The consequences were rapid. Rings flooded from aunts, cousins, even Uncle Tom, who hadn't communicated with me since 2016. They sought explanations. Why the event was scrapped. What Sarah implied by her ambiguous online update about disloyalty. I didn't reply, then arrived the regrets, manipulations, sympathy notes. Ethan, I was unaware. We should have backed you. Can we converse? But I was finished cleaning their sentiment leaks. I allowed rings to voicemail, left notes unopened. The event, it never occurred. With no site and no alternative, they attempted a garden arrangement, but attendees were bewildered. Some aborted trips en route. The groom's kin, discovering the deception, withdrew completely, apparently falsifying a credit line before pledges prompts doubts. Sarah unraveled, sharing vague updates with scripture and sayings about treacherous relatives. I didn't interact. Here's the reality. True retribution isn't noisy. It's not shouting or open humiliation. It's lucidity disassembling the structure that exploited you, departing as their brittle realm collapses. A week later, Mom dispatched one final note. You've proven your stance. We're suffering. You didn't have to act this way. I didn't answer. Instead, I switched my number. I requested a work pause and reserved a lone journey to the identical resort where Sarah's honeymoon was intended. Being the one who managed the reservations, I understood how to modify the booking. I shifted the dates, enhanced the room, and included Sarah's non-alcoholic package to my visit. There I was, on the terrace, chilled tea in hand, surf roaring below, pondering how long I'd awaited someone to notice me. But I at last noticed myself. Not the mender. not the fund. Just Ethan, 33, liberated and finished pursuing an affection I never needed to prove. I don't know if they'll ever comprehend what they forfeited, but I do, and I'm not returning it. So what are your views on this tale? Do you concur with the events, or do you perceive it otherwise? Share your thoughts in the replies, we'd appreciate hearing from you. And if you liked the video, be sure to thumbs up, join the channel, and tap the notification icon so you catch all our future tales. Catch you in the next one.